Thank you very much, Ceann Comhairle. Acknowledging that more progress needs to be made in our society, in our economy and by this government is not the same as the government indicating that we're not making any progress at all. And that's the premise of this debate today. This government, all of our colleagues from 3 different political parties, fully acknowledge that we need to do more. We fully acknowledge, particularly as we grapple with the searing effects of our challenges in building more homes, the need that we have to get more homes built, to respond back in an even more effective way, an even more determined way, to getting more homes built, having them built in the right place and having them built in a more affordable way. But Ceann Comhairle, recent performance, the recent delivery of the government is also, I believe, a good and solid indicator of what this government can achieve and will achieve during the rest of its term of office. And we will do so fuelled by an acknowledgement that more in our society want this government to do more and to achieve more on the back of an economy that continues to be strong. And if you look at what this government has had to contend with on behalf of the people of Ireland in recent years during this term of office, I believe we can make a case to the Dáil and to the people today regarding why support in this government is merited and why that support in turn will allow this government to make even bigger differences in the challenges that this Dáil wants to see improved upon and wants to see further progress delivered. And what is that track record? This is a government that, building on the resilience, the stamina and the determination of the Irish people, navigated our way through a deadly pandemic. And in my contribution here today, I'm going to focus on the economic context and the economic element of that. It's a government which spent over €30 billion in measures that allowed us to put in place the public health measures that were needed to close our economy for many, many months and over 2 years. And by doing that, and because of the nature of those measures, because of the way we managed our public finances, to lead our economy back to the level of full employment that it's at the moment. I remember in the early months of the pandemic dealing with it, I used to get question after question about saying austerity is inevitable. We're moving into a prolonged recession. We're moving into a period of high unemployment. And due to the economic decisions that were made, building, as I said, on the resilience of the Irish people and decisions that were made by this and the last government, we not only led our way through the economic consequences of a pandemic, we nursed and supported our economy back to a position of growth, to a position of surplus in our national finances and to more people at work than ever before in the history of our country, with more young people, more women returning to the workplace. Secondly, just after we had to deal and our country had to contend with the effect of the pandemic, we dealt with the next wave of challenge, which was the economic effects of the awful war on the people of Ukraine. And fresh from us committing tens of billions of euro to fund the employment wage subsidy scheme, to fund the pandemic unemployment payment, we then put in place additional measures, including a budget of €11 billion that is helping. But we always acknowledge that more help needs to be given. We always acknowledge that many want us to do even more. But we put in place measures in combination of one-off measures, changes in taxation, changes in social welfare, to provide support just at a time a weary country battered by a pandemic had to deal with the return of surging inflation within our economy. And we've done all that while at the same time getting the balance right between helping enough today to try to make a difference and setting aside the ability to help more in the future if it is needed. But of course the context to all of this is where we are with the great challenge in building more homes for our country. The Taoiseach and other ministers, particularly Minister O'Brien, will outline where we are in the national measures that are being delivered. But I, again, for the second time in this Dáil, in dealing with another motion of no confidence, want to put on the record the progress that I see happening in my communities, the progress that I see happening in the constituency that I have the privilege of representing in Dáil Éireann. Sean Foster Place, 30 homes opened and being opened at the moment. Dominic Street, 70 homes. O'Devany Gardens, 56 homes, with hundreds of more homes being built. Dorset Street, 160 homes. St Finbarr's Court, 40 homes. Infirmary Road, 40 homes. These are homes that either are now open or are being built at the moment, and that's just by Dublin City Council. Plans that are being developed: Matalba Court, 19 homes; St Bricken's Court, 10 homes; East Wall, 60 homes; Croke Villas, over 70 homes; Stanley Street, 150 homes, not to mention the work that approved housing bodies are doing across our constituency, not to mention the new homes that are being delivered by the private sector, supported by measures that the government has brought in. We know more needs to be done, but progress is being made, and we can make the case for that while also acknowledging that more needs to be delivered. And as Minister Humphreys has said, and I agree with her, there are few parties that I hold in higher esteem than the Labour Party and the contribution that they have made to our country, our economy and our society, and particularly Deputy Brendan Howlin and, of course, Deputy Nash, both of whom I had the privilege of serving with. But that is why I listen actually with a sense of worry to the claim that you can make that you can deliver 1 million more homes. On what land, with what workers, with what money? How are you going to deliver that? And I fear that claims like that only deepen the sense of disenchantment, only undermine the legitimacy more of how progress can be made, rather than offer any solutions. And I want to conclude by just saying what the Taoiseach said a moment ago. The Taoiseach said that we can do more and we can do better. This government will do more and we will do better. We know more progress needs to be made, but progress is still happening.